of ages flowing through its veins. The desert is silent, the dunes are all dead. A planet of ghosts where the giants once fed. We've stolen the pulse from the heart of the world. Into the vacuum, the titan is hurled. A pressurized god in a synthetic cage. The final survivor of a legendary age. The weight of the desert, the cold of the void, protecting the idol that the humans destroyed. The last Leviathan, sailing the black. There's no turning home and there's no looking back. The spice mecha dreams in a coffin of glass, watching the light of the galaxies pass. The guild is in panic, the navigators scream, for the loss of the worm is the death of the dream. Without the great maker, the vision will fail. A civilization shattered and frail, so we hide it away in the deep of the ship. A prayer on the tongue and a curse on the lip. The heat of the sun replaced by the wires, fueled by the greed of the imperial fires. The last Leviathan, sailing the black. There's no turning home and there's no looking back. The spice maker dreams in a coffin of glass, watching the light of the galaxies pass. The skin is dry, the god must die or change to survive, to keep it alive. Enclosed in the iron, the engines are screaming, the hull starts to crack. The shadows of hunters are close on our track. If they take the cargo, the universe falls. The sound of the Shai-Hulud's internal calls will crash in the sea of a world yet unknown, to plant the last seed of the spice and the bone. Carry the god through the dark. Carry the god. The desert isn't a place anymore. It's cargo. signal for the carry-all. We weren't worth the fuel. And you brought your pride, but there's nowhere for a hollow man to hide. The Shai-Hulud hears every step that you take. The desert is hungry for the souls in your wake. A shift in the dunes, a change in the light. The geometry shifts in the middle of night. The structures are buried, the spice is the prize, but the price is the vision in your dying eyes. Deep desert, erase the soul. Deep desert, the storm has control. The instance is resetting. The world is reborn, leaving the weak and the arrogant torn. Under a silent and pitiless sky, a new world is waiting for a new set of fools to die by the desert's unchangeable rules. to die. Controlled by the wire, consumed by the fire. The beast is unleashed. The twins are not simple. Logic perfected. Stop and you die. is a flickering flame. Keep the ships burning, keep the spice in the vein. The only escape is the infinite chain. Don't stop, don't look back, don't stop. They've been waiting for us to stop running. We can never stop. The mirror's a man executing the steps of the clay like Superman. Stealing your likeness, stealing your breath. A perfect imitation in the garden of death. They hold no allegiance, they hold no face. Just the viral intent of a masterless race. A gift to the emperor, a gift to the duke. A poisonous blessing, a hollow rebuke. Clay like flesh, trapped in the mesh of a god that was made in a jar. Clay like flesh, started afresh. The scars of the soul go so far. Duncan? Or is she just me now? Salusa Secundus, the crucible of pain, where the weak are the fertilizer for the grain. 1 out of 10 will survive the first night. The rest are just shadows in a world without light. Forced to be demons in the shape of a man, the ultimate weapon in the Padish's plan. Kill the compassion, serrate the stone, worship the terror, worship the throne. Sardoka, the blade of the sun. Sardoka, the slaughter's begun. No fear in the heart, no soul in the eye. The Emperor's chosen already to die. Condition for murder, a lifetime of hate. The masters of combat, the masters of fate. In the yellow sun glare of the prison camp floor, we're forged in the furnace of an eternal war. A secret religion of blood and of steel, making the great houses tremble and kneel. The Lisa now Gabe is the myth for the weak. The language of blades is the only we speak. Sardoka, the blade of the sun. Sardoka, the slaughter's begun. No fear in the heart, no soul in the eye. The Emperor's chosen already to die. The blood is the water, the pain is the spice. The life of a soldier is the Emperor's price. The prison is life. The freedom is death. in the silicone mines. Forbidden geometry, the ghost in the gears. Architects of silicone, feeding on fears. They bypass the mind, they bypass the soul, to give the machine the ultimate control. Thou shalt not make a mind in the likeness of man, but the lords of the Ix have a different plan. The pulse of the circuit, the logic of hate, rewriting the gospel, sealing our fate. Ixian steel, make the universe kneel. The thinking machine is a god in the dark. Ixian steel, at the turn of the wheel, extinguishing the human spark. A navigator's chamber, a high-tech cell, creating a heaven to hide a new hell. They sell to the emperor, they sell to the guild. On a foundation of heresy, the empire is built. Navigation machines in the eyes of the drone, replacing the spirit with the heart made of stone. The butlerian fires are starting to fade in the shadow of the idols that the technicians made. Ixian steel, make the universe kneel. The thinking machine is a god in the dark. Ixian steel, at the turn of the wheel, extinguishing the human spark. Cold, binary, calculated treachery. The mind is a burden, the flesh is a flaw. Submit to the metal, submit to the law. Zero and one. The jihad is coming to burn down the labs, to rip out the wiring and shatter the slabs. But the seed is already deep in the grain. The logic of metal is numbing the brain. From the depths of the planet to the reach of the stars, the machines are returning to heal all their scars. The machine never sleeps. The machine never weeps. The machine never sleeps. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind. Too late. all that you feel. An army of one or a slave to the throne, the god emperor's plaything, forever alone. The cycle continues. The spice must be fed by the hands of a man who's already dead. The tank is calling. The tank is home. The tank is calling. How many times have I died for you? Atreides. Atreides.
without the sun. The ending has just begun. The golden path is paved in black. There is no way secrets of Shai-Hulud eternally sleep. Burn it down, burn it all, burn it down. I am a creature of the desert now. According to plan, the nerve burn is screaming, the heat is a lie. Withdraw the hand and the human will die. Gom Jabbar, the death at the tip of the soul. Gom Jabbar, the sisterhood takes total control. Sift the wheat from the chaff of the mind. Leave the weak and the dying behind. Ghost from a biological dream. The quest has had Iraq, the one who can see through the veil of the past and the yet to be. Pain is the gateway, the crucible's breath, a narrow escape from a spiritual death. The Baron is waiting, the Emperor dreams, while the Bene Gesserit pull at the seams. Gom Jabbar, the death at the tip of the soul. Gom Jabbar, the sisterhood takes total control. Sift the wheat from the chaff of the mind. Leave the weak and the dying behind. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me. And through me only I remain. just a sandworm who'll speak. A skin not my own, the membrane of scales, where the soul of a human shrivels and fails. 3,000 years in a body of stone, the ultimate monarch forever alone. I trade my humanity for the survival of all, building the bridge for the great scattering's call. Total stagnation, the peace of the grave. Only the monster can choose who to save. The vision is blinding, the path is a blade, falling on millions in the trap I have made. God Emperor's wrath, the predator stalks the golden path. Flesh into spice, bone into sand, holding the universe in a crushing hand. Beneath the cowl, the human is dead. The worm is the crown upon the head. The guild is in chains, the navigators cry. Without the spice, the commerce will die. I hold a monopoly on the breath of the stars, enslaving the worlds to heal all their scars. Psynock, the fish speaker scream in the night. Worship the terror, the bringer of light. A test of the bloodline, a breeding of ghosts. The tyrant is feeding on his terrified host. God Emperor's wrath, the predator stalks the golden path. Flesh into spice, bone into sand, holding the universe in a crushing hand. Beneath the cowl, the human is dead. The worm is the crown upon the head. The skin, it's cold. The sand, it's old. My father saw the jihad, I see the end. A bridge of bodies that I refuse to bend. I am the lesson that humanity must learn. Never follow the leader or watch the galaxy burn. The Winori tragedy, the price of the heart. A plan for destruction to tear it apart. The bridge at the river, the waters embrace. The end of the tyrant, the end of the race. The pearls of my consciousness, scattered in sand. A trillion lives for a world I command. The worm remains. The path is set. The worm remains. My memory is your agony. secrets of emperors aroused to keep. The water is stolen, the bodies are dry under the heat of a pitiless sky. Fear is the killer, the mind slow decay. The litany echoes as light fades away. Into the fire, into the storm, the Messiah is rising, a terror is born. Full thrash explosion, double kick drums and scoop mid-riffs. Empire of dust, the golden path is stained with blood. Empire of dust, prescience is a drowning flood. The jihad screams across the stars, healing the world with deeper scars. Technical rhythmic chefs. The Bene Gesserit weave the thread of 1,000 years and 1,000,000 dead. Breeding the kings in a cold dark room, a calculated birth in a genetic tomb. Hearkening shadows, the oil and the greed, sowing the world with a poisonous seed. The Baron is laughing in the steam and the grime, a master of pain in the river of time. Empire of dust, the golden path is stained with blood. Empire of dust, prescience is a drowning flood. The jihad screams across the stars, healing the world with deeper scars. Slows into a heavy, sludge-like breakdown. Locked in the vision, a prisoner of sight. There is no tomorrow, there is no more light. To save the many, the millions must fall. The Kwisatz Haderach, here's the final call. 6 billion souls gone in the wind. The price of the future, the ultimate sin. Intensity, the tyrant is rising, the skin becomes scales. The logic of humans eternally fails. The desert is hungry, the Shai-Hulud waits to swallow the kings at the ivory gate. From Caladan's reign to the Erekine heat, the cycle of power is never complete. The thrash riffing continues. The thrash riffing continues. The thrash riffing continues. The thrash